The central province of Quảng Nam is very rich in legends and diverse culture. With more than 100 kilometers running from Điện to the Dung Bay, Quảng Nam held an important position in the defense of the former imperial city of Huế under the reigns of King Lê and Lord Nguyễn. Quảng Nam was heavily destroyed during the war and by the harsh weather. Yet, the Mother Nature has endowed it with many beautiful landscapes. Quảng Nam is very proud to be the only place in Vietnam to have two heritage sites recognized by UNESCO: the Mission complex of temples and towers and the Hội An ancient town. The rich history and beautiful landscapes, including the two World Heritage Sites, have made Quảng Nam become a destination for both domestic and foreign visitors. Quảng Nam Tourism, a destination with two World Heritage Sites. The port town of Hội An was established many centuries ago with different names like Hai Pho, Phai Phu and Koh Tam. Right from its inception, Hội An was a busy port because of the Tuon River running straight to the East Sea. Located in the meeting place of the major sources of water in Quảng Nam, and due to the favorable internal and external elements, Hội An Port Town and the Silk Road and Ceramic Road on the sea attracted lots of merchant boats from the east to the west. Many foreign merchants wrote in their diaries, Hội An is the heart of the Silk Way from Asia to Europe. The town was a living museum of the Oriental urban life and architecture from the 16th to the 19th centuries. It is one of a few ancient towns in the world that still remains intact. Its architecture is a combination between the Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese, and Western cultures. Right from the 16th century, Dutch, Spanish and Portuguese merchants chose Hội An as an international port town of trades. Not long after that, the Japanese and Chinese traders came and settled there. They formed the Japanese Street and the Chinese Street. Due to the demands for religious practice, each nationality living in the town built for themselves their own worship temples, such as the Buddhist temple, the Japanese temple, or the Fukien temple. The society's premises of Chiu, Quang Dong, and Ngu Bang, and others. Because of unfavorable conditions, the sailing vessels port town of Hội An gradually declined and gave its historic role in the hands of the young industrial port city of Da Nang. But until now, its old settings have been kept intact with temples, old houses, port and market by the riversides and chessboard streets and lanes. They are an eloquent proof of the most precious time of the Hội An River port town.
Well, I think it's the houses and the pagodas and temples are very beautiful. But in my opinion, it's a little bit too touristic. It's always, everything is built on tourism today. And of course I can understand that, but it's a bit annoying sometimes.
The ancient streets are very attractive to visitors, ranging from the roof tile to the wooden structures of the hundreds of years old houses. Their home decoration bears the oriental characteristics with the excellent sculpture skills by the old artisans. All the pagodas and temples were built by the Vietnamese, while the society's premises by the Chinese, The bridge temple, imprinted with the Japanese architecture, is the only Japanese structural work remains in Hội An nowadays. It could be described as a symbol of the deep-rooted relationship between Vietnam and Japan, dating back hundreds of years ago. If you stroll along the ancient streets, you'll find different products made by the local people, as well as the local cuisine. But if you want for yourself a set of traditional clothes made of pure silk, just drop in at any tailor shop. You have them in a couple of hours during your stay in the town.
Already I've visited Hoi An. This is my 6th time. And why do I come here? It's very beautiful. I love the fact that the central part of the town's been protected and restored and preserved. People are very friendly. It has a beautiful beach. And it's just a wonderful place for a holiday. It's very relaxing. I think it's one of the most beautiful towns in Vietnam, or certainly one of the most beautiful ones I've been to.
The Hoi River and the Ho Street are inseparable part of the town. They are part of the ancient streets and part of the heritage site. From the bridge temple, as you go along the Tu Bon River to the old port, small boats anchored in the river will take you to fishing villages, silk or mat weaving villages by either bank of the river. Most of the traditional craft villages like Thanh Hà Ceramic, Kim Bồng Carpentry, Phước Kiều Bronze Casting in Quảng Nam were all established in the 18th century. Visitors to Quảng Nam would walk or ride a bicycle in the countryside to enjoy the fresh air and the tranquil atmosphere there. Night time in Hoi An is very tranquil. The twinkling lights of the night make the tourists get to know more about the lives of the locals, which are both modern and traditional, while drinking coffee and listening to traditional music in cafe shops. The hospitality of the local people will make the tourists feel as if they were living in their own hometown. On the night of the 14th day of the lunar month, when the moon is considered almost full, Hoi An town is lit by the red lanterns hung in front of every home. You have a chance to experience the rich religious life of people living by the sides of the Tu Bon River. The red lanterns represent the local people's wish to have a happy and a prosperous life. In 2004, Hội An won a UNESCO prize for its effort to conserve the ancient town. The prize is an acknowledgement of Quảng Nam people's efforts in general and Hội An in particular in protecting this precious historic site. During bigger festivals, the ancient town of Hội An becomes a huge stage and local people are the artists. They try to revitalize the busy life of the past and organize traditional games and religious life of local fishermen. If you take a tour along the historic Ho Chi Minh Highway, known as the Ho Chi Minh Trail, you should drop in villages inhabited by the two ethnic minorities to further understand their way of life, which is very unique. From Hoi An, if you go southwest, and after traveling about 45 kilometers, you will arrive at Mission Complex of Temples and Towers, a World Heritage Site recognized by UNESCO in December 1999. The Mission Sanctuary is an exceptional example of cultural interchange, with introduction of the Hindu architecture of the Indian subcontinent into Southeast Asia. The construction of the sanctuary started in the early of the 4th century and completed by late 13th century or early 14th century. The Champa Kingdom was an important phenomenon in the political and cultural history of Southeast Asia, vividly illustrated by the ruins of Mission. 20 of the more than 70 tower temples have remained almost intact. The structure of the temples is still a mystery for the scientists and an inspiration of tourists to explore for themselves. Though it is not as grandiose as the Angkor Wat of Cambodia or the Pagan of Myanmar or Borobudur of Indonesia, the Mission Tower temples have been described as one of the most beautiful tourist attractions in Southeast Asia. To hear visitors further understand about the cultural life of the Cham ethnic people in Mission, art performances are organized by the caretakers of the temples, and the performers are no one else but the Cham artists. Once you are in Mission, don't forget to visit the temples of Chien Dan, Bang An Khương Mỹ, and Kingdo Cha Kieu. These temples still bear the vestiges of the rich Champa culture. If you go 30 kilometers to the east of Hoi An, you arrived at Cù Lao Cham, an archipelago with 8 islets. Cù Lao Cham has several fishing villages with beautiful beaches which can be compared to the one that were described in the novel The Old Man and the Sea by American writer Ernest Hemingway. The hospitality of the local people in the Cù Lao Cham will make you feel like you're at home, and you will have a good time bathing in the sunshine and swim at the beach and enjoy the rich marine life in the sea. You can go to Cù Lao Cham by big boats either from Hoi An or from Da Nang. About 7 kilometers from Tam Kỳ town is the Phu Ninh Lake. It is described as a mini Ha Long Bay in Quảng Nam. The lake has about 30 islands and islets. Phu Ninh is an ideal ecotourism area with a cool climate around the year and a diverse flora and fauna species, of which 14 species are written in the Red Book. The visitors could make a tour of the lake on a boat to enjoy the beautiful scenery of the lake and its surroundings. Once you are in Quảng Nam, you can stay in villas or comfortable hotels inside the Hoi An ancient town, or sanitation homes along the coast stretching from Da Nang to Cửa Đại River estuary.
Chập trùng Trường Sơn Giang mát, ngàn thước khe sâu, ngàn thước non cao. Đường về Quảng Nam xa lắm, rừng núi mông mênh, gành thác lênh đênh.
You are welcome to Quảng Nam.